what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them.
The country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president.
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trend.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. But order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Because today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do.
And until they release the flight logs, you, the mainstream media, Hollywood, are all pedophiles to me.
Everybody, FCB here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fantastic, and I hope you're all in amazing spirits. Welcome to the Decoders Den, Apokalipsi Part 2, The Reveal. That's what I'm doing, this Apokalipsi. Apokalipsi means don't be afraid. God's given us the heads up. Apokalipsi means to reveal the hidden, to reveal. Apokalipsi in Greek means to reveal. It doesn't mean the end of everything. God created us in his image. Does he want to destroy everything? No, he doesn't. But he wants us to basically be united and to be connected to him. How's that going to happen if we're focusing on money, the dollar sign, Satan's little symbol over there? It's time for everything to happen now. That's why everything has to happen now. It's going to be biblical. Things are going to flip in a different direction. So that's why I say, don't be afraid. Be empowered. Be empowered with the truth. You're being, as I said, you're being freed. Your minds are being freed. And that's why people here that come here, it's not the many, it's the few. Because God's road is the road, God's true road is the road least traveled. That's the reality. Now, Zionism. Let's talk about that. What is Zionism? When was it created? They make us believe that it's been there for thousands and thousands of years, like the lies of that Israel has been there for thousands of years. No. Modern political Zionism began in the late 19th century, ladies and gentlemen, in 1897. The first Zionist Congress founded by Theodor Herzl. However, the ideology and roots of Zionism goes back further, 1870s, 1880s. So it's something that's been, shall we say, when they lie to you and it's been inbred in religion. So they go around, and remember, you look around in the church, the Vatican and all that, and you'll see sun symbolism, Freemasonry symbolism, the Orthodox symbol of the Orthodox Church is a 33-degree masonry symbolism. Symbolism will be their downfall. Now, as I said, think about this. That place over there, that area is basically controls the world. That area that is less than 1 kilometre square, ladies and gentlemen, right there, that controls the world. The old city located in East Jerusalem is the home to some of the holiest sites in Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. That little piece of land basically controls the hearts and the minds of the masses. That's why it was imperative that they got that. It's unbelievable, isn't it? That little piece of land over there, that much control. Now, like we've been talking about, Erdogan, Turkey, President Erdogan has neo-Ottoman ideas. He wants to take Jerusalem back. President Trump made Jerusalem the capital of Israel. Golan Heights is recognized. Judea and Samaria is recognized as well. Nowhere else has done it. Only he has done it. And he's piecing it all back, bringing it all back for a reason. Preparing it, as it says in Scripture, for the new Jerusalem. Now, just so people get an idea, Judea and Samaria is where the West Bank is. Judea and Samaria are not internationally recognized as part of Israel. President Trump is the only one to do it. He's the only one to also recognize Golan Heights. Now, he's basically preparing it, bringing it back together, preparing it. In his mind, in Netanyahu's mind, he's preparing it for the third temple. That's what he's doing it for. Now, where are the Jews today? The majority are in Israel, 6.7 million. In the US, it's the second biggest, shall we say, population outside of Israel, 5.7 million. In France, it's 450,000. In Canada, it is 392,000. And in other countries, it's 1.5 million. So, as I said, this is not about, I'm not having to go at the people. We're all brothers and sisters. It's about bringing out the truth. That's what it's all about. Now, as I said, back in the old days of Jesus, there we go. We've got Judea and Samaria over here. Now, the word Jew comes from the word Judea, pure and simple, right? And they all use that word Jew. And people think they're all Jews. No. Number one, if they say that they're Jews, then they have to come from Judea. But this is where they blur the lines. They use the religion aspect. So they say, oh, no, we're Jews. Really? Did you come from Judea? Or is it the religion? Do you see how it all works? They blur the lines. And there's Judea right there. So do they have a right to call themselves Jews? Well, think about it from this perspective. If they're going to say that they are basically real Jews and really, shall we say, because that comes from the word Judea, then fine. But if they're not from there, it's to do with their religion. And that's how they've been able to distort the truth, manipulate things. And they've been doing it for a very, very long time. Now, another thing is the Talmud. The good old Talmud, ladies and gentlemen. You've probably heard about the Talmud. Don't confuse it with the Torah, okay? No, the Talmud is rabbinical. Basically, they have debates. They put things in there, okay? It's been going on for many, many years. The Talmud, okay, is honestly, it's horrific. The things that they've said about, and as I said, do you see reports of them spitting on people when they go? Like, you remember the evangelists? They go and do their tours. The people go to do their tours. We're Christians, and then you see them that they're being spat on. That's all true as well, and how they're being not manipulated, being ridiculed when they're there. That's true. Watch this report here from Matt Gates.
Evangelical Christians love Israel. It's a land with a 4,000-year connection to our faith. But with the current erratic spasms of the Netanyahu government, the love may be unrequited. Is Israel an unwelcoming place for Christians? A new look into correspondence between U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee and the Israeli government raises questions about whether Christians are being mistreated by Israel. The ambassador sent a letter to the Israeli Interior Minister accusing Israel of blocking Christian groups from entering the country. As a private citizen, Governor Huckabee personally led Zionist Christians on such tours. Now Huckabee is threatening reciprocal punishment against Israel and their visa seekers wanting to come to America. He cited harassment and negative treatment of Christian groups. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Some will criticize this segment and say that the problem of Christians being harassed in or by Israel is overblown. But it's not me saying it. It's Ambassador Huckabee. Is Ambassador Huckabee an anti-Semite now because he's criticizing the government of Israel? Of course he isn't. Here's Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel in 2023.
In recent months, we've seen very serious phenomena towards the Christian denominations in the Holy Land. Our brothers and sisters, Christian citizens, feel attacked in their places of prayer, in their cemeteries, and on the streets.
Christians in Jerusalem's Old City say they are often harassed, spit on, and even physically attacked by religious Jewish youth.
I view this phenomenon as extreme and unacceptable in any shape or form. This phenomenon needs to be uprooted.
Earlier incidents include the desecration of a Protestant cemetery on Mount Zion, an attack on international Christians during a day of prayer for Jerusalem, and harassment at a Messianic concert in Jerusalem.
We must respect the members of all religions. We've committed to this since the dawn of our existence. This is the most basic commandment of love your neighbor as yourself.
Since that speech, I'm not sure if things have gotten much better for Christians. According to the Times of Israel, quote, Huckabee said he would warn American Christians that their donations are not received warmly and that tourists should reconsider any plans to visit Israel if the issue is not resolved. Boycott your next trip to Israel, divest from groups sending donations to Israel, and sanction Israel by denying visas to their citizens who want to come to the United States. In just a few years, we've gone from Ambassador Huckabee leading Zionist Christian tour groups in Israel to threatening to lead the BDS movement, the boycott, divest, and sanction movement. Congress has passed about a gazillion BDS resolutions, all at the urging of AIPAC. Will AIPAC now target Ambassador Huckabee?
I think organizations like AIPAC and Christians United for Israel should register under the law as foreign agents because they are lobbying on behalf of Israel.
Also unresolved tonight is an investigation into the killing of Saif Moussalet. He was an American born in Florida. He was surrounded for 3 hours and beaten to death. To have Israel as such a driving force for division just 10 years ago. Now, it doesn't seem Israel likes the criticism. So some who aren't intelligent enough to speak about these issues with nuance simply say that any criticism of the government of Israel is anti-Semitic. That's stupid people talk. It isn't anti-Semitic to criticize the government of Israel any more than it isn't anti-American to say that Biden's presidency was a silver alert. It seems Israel's goodwill with the world has eroded very meaningfully. Christians blocked from the United States, Americans murdered in Judea and Samaria. We don't think it's a tenable position for Israel to say to our fellow countrymen, send us your money, send us your weapons, but don't send us your Christian tour groups or Arab Americans who want to visit family without being beaten to death.
There you go. A bit of an eye-opener, isn't it, when Huckabee was all for it. Remember, he was playing the bass and Sweet Home Jerusalem. You saw him jumping up and down. And then all of a sudden we've had a nice big 360 turnaround. Oh, no, that's all factual, ladies and gentlemen. That's all factual. And this is all factual as well, the Talmud. You know what they say about Christians? Oh, yes. Jews do not regard, non-Jews as human beings. The Talmud contains blasphemies against Jesus and offensive passages about Christians. Number 3, Judaism despises non-Jews. Number 4, the Talmud urges Jews to do a variety of harm to Christians, such as murder and theft, and teaches that each death of a Christian serves as a substitute to the temple sacrifices, which would then hasten the arrival of the Jewish Messiah. So if you go around killing Christians and thieving off them and all that, you're doing things to bring on the Jewish Messiah. Lovely, isn't it? And then it says here, by means of numerous citations in Hebrew and Latin translations, he sought to demonstrate that the Talmud obliged Jews to injure Christians in a multifarious way and to work towards, obviously for their elimination. Lovely, isn't it? The structures and the themes of the Talmud in the book. Okay, so you got this book that's called Talmud. I think it's called Talmud. This book here, there it is, Unmasked. And it covers all these things about the Talmud. I've got the book. And it says there, Christians, number 1, chapter 1, Christians are to be avoided. And it says, 1, Christians unworthy to associate with Jews. They don't sit there and eat with, no, they don't do that at all. Number 2, Christians are unclean. Christians are idolaters. Now, that makes sense. Like I said, remember in Scripture, do not commit idolatry. What do the Christians do? Worshipping icons, saints, crosses, this, that, the other. Christians are evil. Christians are to be exterminated. Christians to be harmed indirectly by not helping them, number 1. By interfering with their work, number 2. By deceit in legal matters, oh yes, number 3. Number 4, by harming them in things necessary for life. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen, what have they been doing to us? Look, good old Rothschild's been screwing us, in every which way possible. I'm sure he follows that Talmud. Then we got here, renegades to be killed, apostates, princes, especially the Prince of Rome, the Pope, to be exterminated, all Christians to be killed. Killing a Christian is an acceptable sacrifice to God. Heaven promises to those who kill Christians. A Christian may be beheaded on most solemn festivals. The Messiah expected will be revengeful. Lovely. Jewish prayers against Christians. Christians prayers for Jews. And it goes on. Oh, here we go. Some more here. Those who kill Christians shall have a high place in heaven, in Zohar. Right? Jews never cease to exterminate the Goyim, meaning us. Anyone that's non-Jew is called a Goyim. They must never leave them in peace and never submit to them. And then we got here, do not eat with idolaters, meaning us. Okay, obviously I don't do that anymore. So I don't sit there and worship all those idols and stuff. Let them be wiped off the face of the, where? Oh, the earth. There we go. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely, you know. And then they play the game, and think about this. President Trump, remember at that Knesset, we'll go to that little video over there. And what's going on is basically the opposition leader gets up and he says, he talks about the Babylonian Talmud, their book. So in other words, he's acknowledging that's what they follow, the Babylonian Talmud. Lovely, isn't it? And that's what it's about. It's exposing. That's what President Trump's doing. How does that make you feel? Lovely, isn't it? Not so lovely. And the other thing is, President Trump is exposing these entities for a reason. Because he's doing it because in the end, it's all finished. It's over for them all. It's going to be done and dusted. But it must be done once and done right. And that's the thing. So, in Israel, they call it the Abrahamic, or the Abrahamic religion is the three major ones. So Abraham, Abram, as they say, is the common Hebrew patriarch of the three major religions. So this guy here, basically it all stemmed from him. Judaism, Christianity and Islam. That's why they call it Abraham Accords, connecting Judaism, Christianity and Islam, peace in the Middle East. Israel was created in 1917 using the Balfour Agreement. Good old Lord Rothschild. And it was formed officially in 1948. Please watch part 1. I went through this. Jerusalem controls the masses of the world through religion. And how do they do that? Like I showed you, that little piece of land over there. Right? Done by design. Okay, that's pretty full on, isn't it? I'm glad you're all watching and you're doing well. You're taking your breaths. How does everybody feel in the chat? Are you enjoying yourselves? That's great, isn't it? It's a big eye opener. It's meant to be an eye opener. Now, let's go to the video. And I'll bring it up with Satan Yahoo and President Trump and all the gang there. Over back in the day of the Knesset, when he went to Middle East and he visited Israel first, and then he went to Egypt. All right, so there's a lot going on there. Okay, let me just bring up that video and we'll continue on with that D-code. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, how about a thumbs up? Great comments. Let's share this around the place. No, we shouldn't be feeling sick right now. We should be feeling empowered with the truth. That's what we should be feeling. Because would you rather continue? This is the thing. Ask yourself this question. Would you rather continue on with a lie and believing a lie, or would you rather know the truth? Because Q also says that in the end, it'll be up to us to know the real truth. What does Q tell us that? Well, it does say in one of these drops, one very important drop, where it talks about the matrix. Okay, I'll bring that drop in before we start, because it's very important. People think that they're being red-pilled. Okay, let me give you the heads up. Q drop 749, I'll explain it. Controlling the crops controls the people. Sheep. Think about control. Control, religion, politics, left, right, manipulation. Might be reaching out there, but let's talk about the matrix. Coincidence that the matrix, now let's talk about the matrix, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone here watch the matrix? I'll give you the lowdown. In the matrix, you got Keanu Reeves, who plays Neo. Neo is the hacker. Neo basically is like us. Just consider us to be Neo. So we know what's wrong with the world. We know all the filth. We know that we've been living a world of lies and deception known as the Matrix, right? Just hear me out. So we've been believing, we know that there's things that are wrong in the world. We know all the dark is coming into the light. We know that we are living in some sort of controlled environment known as the Matrix. Now, what happens in the movie? So we're at this position where we know what's going on. Have we taken the red pill yet? No, we have not. We may have think, but we have not. We haven't. And I'll tell you why. We know what's wrong. We see what's wrong with the place. We know that we've been living in a world of lies and illusions, deceptions. Yet we still haven't taken that red pill. Because what's waiting for us, it's, you know, when that scene where you got Morpheus and he says, the only way that I can show you what the Matrix is all about, as in what's really the Matrix, because people don't get the word Matrix, what it means. Matrice. Matrice is French for womb. Matrice, mother, womb. What are they when they're in those pods? They are considered to be in an enclosed womb. Now think about this. We know that there's all, so like Neo, he knows what's wrong. He knows about the Matrix. He's aware. He knows that we've been controlled. Neo meets Morpheus, and Morpheus says, right, the time has come to make the choice. Just keep that in mind. Coincidence, the Matrix, the movie, grew people as crops. So basically, they use our energy, our life force. Think about this. Why don't they just print the money and spend it themselves? No. Why? They need our energy to circulate, like blood circulates through the body, so they need that energy to give it life. They need us, right? They need us. So, in other words, they need our energy, but at the same time, they don't want us aware that we've been living in a world of deception and lies. So they control our mind. How do they control our mind? Well, think about it. Religion. That creates division. Political affiliation. Left and right. Dumbed down through food, water, and air. And they've been doing this for a long time. So that's how they control your mind. Keeping you in a state of debt slavery, using fear and greed to control. That's why you see how everything is controlled by fear and greed. Have a look at this, the crypto. Fear and greed. That's what drives the market. Sound familiar? Oh, yes, it does. Because you can connect those dots and you can see how it all makes perfect sense. How they use us and they control our mind at the same time. In other words, we're a slave to the system, a prison of the mind. Now, I wonder where that idea derived from, as in The Matrix, the movie. I've just explained it to you. Now comes the conspiracy label. The deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. The deeper we go, the more unrealistic it becomes. What are they talking about there, ladies and gentlemen? The looking glass. In Alice in Wonderland, that's why we got the references in the Matrix movie about the white rabbit as well. Because in the Alice in Wonderland, done by Lewis Carroll, That's also mentioned in the Q drops. The deeper we go into the looking glass, which is the mirror, we go into it, the more unrealistic and weird things become. Have a look around you. Have a look around you. Nothing makes sense. Things are so unrealistic. Things are so, it's like the Matrix is glitching. So the deeper we're getting into this, the closer we get to this, the more unrealistic things become. You know it to be true, ladies and gentlemen. I call it bizarro world, but realistically speaking, it's going deeper and deeper into the looking glass. Yes, that's right, Carol. We're in it nice and thick. Now we're going to reach a point where it says there, the end won't be for everyone. Let's go back to Morpheus and go back to Neo. You've got the red and blue pill presented to you. You think you've had it, but you've been going through all these cognitive dissonance layers, because it's not just one layer of cognitive dissonance, there are many layers of it. And we've been going through it over and over and over and over again. In fact, I've been taking you through all various cognitive dissonance layers, and I've been exposing the illusions. Now, the end won't be for everyone. What does that mean? That means, in the end, that choice to know what's really going on will be yours. That right there is the choice. Liken that to being Morpheus right in front of your face, holding the red pill and the blue pill. And those that are destined to know the truth, that want to know, no matter how painful it is, because the end won't be for everyone. I can tell you right now, because what you think you know to what is reality are two different things, just like in the movie The Matrix. As Morpheus says, I can only show you. Now, you having that red and blue pill right there, ladies and gentlemen, those that are destined to take the red pill are going to be exposed to the real harsh truths. That's why I've been preparing you for this. I've been giving you the harsh truth. Preparing you, because if you can't get to this level where you can come to the conclusion that you've been lied and deceived, how are you going to move forward? That's why, ladies and gentlemen, where you are right now is by no coincidence. Those that are here for a reason. They're here because basically they want to know the real truth. They really want, they hunger for that red pill. That's why this is the road least traveled. This is not circus, bread and circus, like the others, where they sit there and they tell them what they want to hear. This is the place where you get the harsh truth. The choice now will be yours. We're coming towards the end game, where you are going, as I said, Morpheus, red and blue. That choice will be yours to know. So to know will be yours. It's right there. The end won't be for everyone. And those that take the blue pill are destined to do this all over again. Are destined to do this all over again. Those who take the red pill, that's what Q says, the end won't be for everyone. That's the harsh reality right there. Now the question is, are you ready? I've been exposing and bringing the harsh truth based on real facts, evidence, and receipts, and challenging people's minds. Why? Why have I been doing this? Do you think I like to be abused every day? God's put it in my heart to do this. There's no other reason. I'm certainly not getting paid money to do this. Oh, you know, it's not the driver. If it had been the driver, I wouldn't be here right now. With my talents, I could make a lot more money. You've got to remember that everything's been done by design. There's a reason and a rhyme for everything. That's why I say the choice will be yours to know. What do you choose to do? You think you're taking the red pill, forget it. I haven't taken it. I haven't taken it yet. But let me tell you something, I've already made my choice. And I know in your hearts, you would have made your choices as well. The thing is, people operate on fear. And those that operate on fear, you don't get it. Separating the wheat from the chaff is to separate those from the weak and the strong. The ones that are going to be the ones moving forward are going to be the ones that want to know the real truth, because we are heading towards it. And those that can't get over, because I've seen them trying to get over, and they keep going on and on about their religious Bible bashing, and they don't even bother reading scripture and comprehending it. They just regurgitate it. They celebrate Christmas, even though it's not in the... It says in Bible, don't put the tree up with the tinsel. The 25th of December is nowhere to be found in the Bible. They believe in the rapture that's basically being done back in the late 1800s by somebody that belongs to a club, and the same people that belong to, or same person that belongs to the club happens to be the occultist Aleister Crowley. How does that one grab you? They celebrate Halloween and they don't know what they're doing it for, just because of, oh, we just want to do it, have fun and games. Well, realistically speaking, they're just doing satanic stuff without them even knowing. How are these people going to wake up? How are these people going to wake up? The ones that continue to be programmed, they're not going to wake up. They're not going to take that red pill. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, they're destined for the other direction. That's what they're destined for. And let me tell you something. The reason why, and I spoke about this with Carol, and Carol brought out a very important point. And I want to say thank you to Carol for this. We were talking about President Trump. Remember when he said about not going to heaven and all that sort of thing? Carol and I were speaking about this. I put it through to her and I explained to her about the Matrix. And she said, well, think about it. He's connected to the other side. What is the other side? Also, what is heaven? Heaven is the sky. We know, we've been through that firmament. God's kingdom, or the kingdom of God, is a different meaning. Things have been lost in translation. As I said, the Bible has been manipulated over and over and over again. And this is the thing, President Trump has been awakening minds. Now, do you think it's a coincidence when he says it's not about red and blue? Everything's red and blue. You got the left and the right, or the right and the left, red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. No coincidence. Then you translate that to being the red and blue pill. And then you go and you look at what is a sleeping pill. What color is those pills that they take to, say, for example, calm you down? It's blue. Coincidence, there are none. The question is, are you ready to go to that next level? That's why it's been very important to bring on these hard facts, evidence, and receipts. But it's been necessary that people start waking up. Very important. Because we're at this point now, ladies and gentlemen, where we're heading, as I said, we haven't got that long to go at all. You can see that the indicators are there. In fact, when you go to the Q drops, you used to be able to go on the back end. Remember? Not anymore. You can't get into the Q crumbs like you used to. Have a look at this. You can't, can you? Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, never before have we been not able to get to the back end and to get the Q crumbs. There's so many indicators that we are heading towards this end game. It's unbelievable. It literally is. So, there's a lot going on. The question is, are you ready? Now, Erdogan is preparing for an assault and has been. Erdogan, the president of Turkey. You've seen how already they've been getting ready for the third temple. What does that mean? That means that mosque has to be blown up to smithereens. And what is Erdogan waiting for, ladies and gentlemen? Erdogan is waiting for an excuse to do what he has to do. Remember, the Ottomans for 400 years were occupying Palestine. They had Jerusalem. And now he's promised these people that he's going to take it. He's going to take it back. He's got the neo-Ottoman intentions, and he's going to do whatever he has to do. Now, he's over there playing the game of cleaning up Gaza and helping up. That's nothing more than an illusion. What he's preparing for is when that happens, when they bring that temple, so the mosque, Erdogan has got his army, his military waiting to go. Let's watch this clip.
Unutmayın, gençler, men sabera zafer. Unutmayın. Gençler, men sabera zafer.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. His intentions are clear. So you're seeing that he's set himself up there in the guise of, oh, I'll go and help clean up. No, he's getting ready. Can you see? He knows what's going on. He's been watching these provocations, how they've been going under the mosque, chipping away with hammers with the colours of the Palestinian flag. Why haven't they done anything about it? Erdogan is waiting for his opportune moment right there. That's what he's waiting for. And the other thing you need to realise, ladies and gentlemen, is this. We go back to that D code there, the 749, Q drop 749. What do they use energy to make? Crypto. They think about this. Do you remember that pattern with the 666 on there? You know which one I'm talking about. Now have a look at this. The pattern was MSW020, 2020, 666. Remember, remove the zeros. Okay, remember in binary, 0 is off. It reveals the 666 right there. Basically, they're going to use us to mine crypto. That's the reality. Now, how do we know that? Well, let's go to the original documentation where it's all there in black and white. This is real documentation, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. So what they were doing is they were going to use our human body activity. It's right there. Our human body activity. Now, let's look at this. So there's your 6666. 666. Who was the one that registered? Microsoft. Good old Billy Boy Gates. Human body activity. That means you need energy. And then that energy was to create the mining process of the cryptocurrency system. So you think about Bitcoin and all that. They created that system to enslave us. So what would happen is that human body activity, the energy that it speaks about in the Q drops, that it says, oh, you're controlling the mind. Well, how are they going to control the mind, ladies and gentlemen? Anyone heard about Neuralink? Elon Musk? Oh, yes, good old Elon. Controlling the mind, all right? Chucking one of those things in the brain. And then using our energy to create Bitcoin and then to upload it to the cloud. That's exactly what they had installed for us. Now, those people that sit there and they love their Bitcoin and love their cryptocurrency, is that what you had installed for your children or for your future? I didn't have that installed. I don't want it. And then what do they operate with? Greed and fear. That's how they operate, ladies and gentlemen. That's their index. That's true. Fear and greed. It's a lovely little satanic attribute, isn't it? Or Satan's little tools there. Fear and greed. Fear of missing out drives the greed up. When the greed goes up, the price of crypto goes up because it's basically made out of what? Energy. And how is that energy going to be created, ladies and gentlemen? What does it say also in the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen? What did Morpheus say? To turn us into what? What did Morpheus say? To turn us into a battery. Right? Do you remember that in the Matrix? Because that's exactly what they wanted to turn us into, ladies and gentlemen, is a battery. In that movie. Yes. How about we watch that little clip over there? Here we go. The Matrix, the battery. Let's watch this little clip.
The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat. Combined with a form of fusion, the machines had found all the energy they would ever need. There are fields, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown. For the longest time, I wouldn't believe it. And then I saw the fields with my own eyes. What is the Matrix? Control. Built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want out.
Into that, ladies and gentlemen. To change a human being into that. A battery. Do you see when President Trump says AI, uses twice the amount of power. Twice the amount. Now, let's talk about this. Is that what you wanted installed for your children and for yourselves? For those people that love their crypto, did you know that they're going to use it against you? Because they were. That's you getting all the electricity they need. Like what did Morpheus say? To turn you into that. And that's off there. Human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in mining process, meaning your energy, your body activity. So that makes perfect sense. Now, the mark of the beast, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce you to that. We create the energy, the body activity. That creates the coin or the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency. And then we upload it to the cloud. And we're all connected. Then think about the buy, sell, and trade. If we're all connected to this system, that means they could switch you off from buy, selling, and trading at any given time. That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark of the beast. Or the name of the mark of the beast. Number of his name. This calls for wisdom. Let one who is understanding calculate. I've been calculating this. The number of the beast is 666. What is that? That's the patent for 666. How are they going to control? You've seen right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's right there in black and white. Is that what you want for your children? To sit there, because I didn't fight out there in the streets to have this system. But apparently a lot of these people out there, that's all they talk about is how good their crypto is doing. That's all they care about. Really now, do you know you're ushering in this business? Did you know? And you're allowing your greed to drive the value of that thing up. Do you think it's a coincidence that we're seeing Peter Thiel, and you know who Peter Thiel is, okay? Peter Thiel was the founder of PayPal. In other words, PayPal, he was together with Elon, okay? That's what they did. Now think about this. Peter Thiel has been jumping up and down out there talking about the Antichrist. Really? Who is now? You know that Peter Thiel is big on technology. You know that all these entities, Elon, big on technology. Now, if Christ is about life, the Antichrist is the opposite. Who is Peter Thiel talking about? Well, let's liken it to the Matrix once again. In the movie The Matrix, who is the ones that have got the upper hand? Is it man or is it machine? It's machine. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, if Christ is life, the Antichrist is the opposite. In other words, it's AI. Artificial intelligence. That's what it means. Christ is life, the chrism that God has given us, has anointed us with life. The opposite is AI. Why are they talking about? As I said, Peter Thiel is going around talking about the Antichrist. Why? And you know that Peter Thiel is also basically into technology. Peter Thiel, all he wants everyone to think more is about the Antichrist. Analysis during an appearance that billionaire has appeared, his analysis on technology, government, and biblical perspective. Well, it all should make perfect sense. God has given us the gift of life through the chrism. He's anointed us. And the opposite, remember, satanic ideology is the opposite. So therefore, what Peter Thiel is talking about is the Antichrist. Now, if we want to talk about the Antichrist, that means devoid of life. That's what it means. God has given us life. If the andi in Greek means opposite. Opposite. So opposite to life is something that is, so you got God that created life. Then on the other side, you got artificial life. What I'm going to show you is from a video from Tucker. And he had a gentleman there, and it made all the world of sense. It really does. What he said was this, that these people like Elon and all them have created AI, as in the vessels. And these vessels, what they do is, it's like they're devoid of life, but they got the artificial intelligence. Now think about it from this perspective. We're the driver. The car basically has got all that technology. But that technology won't be used to its full potential unless the driver gets in there and takes control. Well, it's the same thing. In other words, what he's saying here is that the AI, these vessels, or robots as you like to call them, have basically been created to allow demonic entities, or shall we say interdimensional beings, to enter these things, that they created these AI for a reason. When that is to bring in what they call the Antichrist. Let's have a listen.
Do the people involved in the creation of AI believe that it's a spiritual entity, that it's more than a machine?
So this is Tucker, the trillion-dollar question. They talk about creating artificial intelligence. The real question, the real thing we should be concerned about, are you creating an artificial intelligence, or are you giving a body to a pre-existing intelligence that previously wasn't incarnated in the physical world? So, I mean, here's a quote from Turing. We shall not go any further into the nature of this oracle apart from saying that it cannot be a machine. What a lot of people are concerned about, and what Silicon Valley is seemingly getting up to, okay, so a machine can't be aware of what it's doing. If there is such a thing as demons, angels, spirits, as Aleister Crowley called them, disincarnate intelligences.
Disincarnate meaning intelligence without a physical body.
Yeah, could we...
Who did he just reference, ladies and gentlemen? Do you find it a coincidence? Do you find it a coincidence? Who did I just speak about before? Aleister Crowley. We just spoke about the rapture. He's part of the club. Have a look at that.
Called them disincarnate intelligences.
Disincarnate meaning intelligence without a physical body.
Yeah, could we be creating a physical body for the demonic?
God is life. God created, shall we say, everything in his image. So we've got God's life. Then we've got the opposite side, which is when we think about God, we think about nature. When we look at the other side of the spectrum, which is the opposite, artificial life. Look at this, controlled, manipulated, our energy, what they had installed for us. In scripture, it says about 666. We go to 666 as far as the pattern's concerned. It all links up. It all connects up. And then remember, they need us as a battery. They turn us into, use us as our energy, like it said there in that pattern, to create and mine cryptocurrency. And then you think to yourself, how are they going to, well, there you go. That's how they control the buy, sell, and trade. And then President Trump says that we need to take control over AI, because if it was left rampant, just think about what could happen. And then when I see, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the end won't be for everyone. That choice will be yours to know. The red and blue pill, we still haven't got there yet. But we're getting there. We are getting there. That choice will be yours to know in the end. Pretty full-on stuff, isn't it? It is. And you can see why they're talking about, Peter Thiel's talking about the Antichrist. And then he's referring to technology. You can see that everything's lining up. So what we need to do is don't have any fear. Get rid of it. Standing in your power means no fear. Use your logic. What does Q says? That we were awakened for a reason. We have been. This is much bigger than what you can possibly imagine. There are no coincidences why this is all happening. Then we've got the looking glass. The more we get, look at this. It says in the Q drops. And it's exactly what's happening right now. The deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. Have a look around you. Nothing makes sense. Everything is, shall we say, all over the place. Obviously, it's referring to the Looking Glass. The Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland. In the Matrix, there's many references to Alice in Wonderland. The White Rabbit. We need time to go through this, digest it, comprehend it. There's a lot in this segment that you got. Everything connects up. How many coincidences before you call it mathematically? And I've shown you the mathematics. I've shown you how it all connects up. The question is, are you ready to take that red pill? Are you ready? That's the question. Or are you going to be shy? Are you destined to repeat? It's time for everybody to make that choice. And we're getting closer and closer to the end game. So anyway, I want to say thank you to Carol. Thank you to Soren, and thank you to all of you for your unwavering support. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, the like button. Put in a great comment. Let's share this all around the place. Everything that I shared with you, I don't put behind a paywall. I don't advertise garbage. I just don't do it. What I do is I give you the hardcore facts, evidence, and receipts. All I can do is show you what's real, what's true. As Q says, at the end of the day, it will be entirely up to you to make that choice. Whether you take the red pill or whether you take the blue pill. I want to say also thank you to those that have donated, contributed, share me coffees. I appreciate it. Okay. It goes to, as I said, expenses, keeping the lights on. Say thank you to all of you for your lovely support, your lovely words. Please. It gives us the drive to keep going, to keep punching through, because we ain't doing it for the money. We're doing it to empower people. I'm not an influencer, I'm an empowerer, and I'm proud of it. God bless you all, and thank you. See you soon.
No, we're going to get into Jasar and Sarah, but even Charlie Ward said when
they slide through shadows, whisper thin, with twisted smiles and plastic skin. They reel you in with poison words, promising diamonds, selling dirt. Their eyes are hollow, reflections lost, built on deceit, no matter the cost. They play the fool, they play the friend, but you're just another means to an end. Grifters and con men lurking in the night, masters of darkness hiding in plain sight. They'll take your soul and leave you bare. Grifters and con men, they don't care. Get up! Get up! Hands reaching cold as steel. Trade your truth for a crooked deal. They'll make you laugh, make you trust, till everything precious turns to rust. They wear your secrets like a crown, smiling wide as they track you down. 1,000 lies, a practice grin. They steal your heart, then they slip right in. Grifters and con men spinning their lies, a silver tongue, the devil's disguise. They'll leave you empty, no place to stand. Grifters and con men, blood on their hands. They haunt the alleys, the backroom bars, cashing in dreams, leaving scars. No remorse, no second thought, just the thrill of what they've caught. Grifters and con men, lasters of sin with hollowed hearts and empty grins. They'll strip your soul and leave it there. Grifters and con men, they don't care. In every city, in every town, they weave their webs, they wear their crowns. Forever drift in shadows on the run. Grifters and con men, never done.